Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Here's a quick message from our sponsor, Local Works Wheat Ridge, provided by its Executive Director, Paige Piper.
Local Works is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to make Wheat Ridge a more vibrant and sustainable place to live and work. Our mission and action is programming that provides neighborhood revitalization and small business support, keeping and growing the businesses we know and love in Wheat Ridge. In simpler form, we provide connection. Connection to business, connection to community.
This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Meg Smith.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the latest episode of the Good Neighbor Podcast, West Denver. Today, I'm here with Kristin, Aikin, Salada with New Angle Consulting. How are you, Kristin?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Meg. I'm glad to connect with you and all of your followers and listeners.
Well, thanks. I'm so happy that you're here. Yeah, we're trying to connect as many people together as we can. I always joke around that I'm a compulsive connector. So this fits very well into my repertoire.
Nice.
So tell everybody a little bit more about New Angle Consulting.
Well, let's see. I have been working in this business for about 20 years now, and it kind of came out of working for Outward Bound Professional. So believe it or not, I used to work and live in both downtown and Golden when I worked for Outward Bound, and it came from just a passion for seeing, in particular, leadership teams, small business leadership teams and or medium, large size business executives, just really feeling sort of disconnected from each other and wanting to be the best leaders they could be, as well as just feeling a sense of camaraderie and almost like you get up in the morning and you can't wait to go to work because you love who you work with, you feel respected, you've got great relationships with each other, and feel a sense of that folks value what you bring to the table and that you're up to something important.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it can be pretty, when you're working remote, it can be pretty isolating. And when you're a leader, because there might not be fellow leaders there with you at your organization. So yeah, connecting people together and having that camaraderie is huge, and it impacts their success and the success of their teams, right? Because their mindset can be impacted. That's great work. I love it. So how did you get into this?
It was funny back in the day. I used to work with the leadership teams that we would go rock climbing on ropes courses and other kinds of outdoor adventure, wilderness-based activities. And nowadays, it's much more focused on really, for example, a lot of clients will hire us to come in and figure out. They have 3 really critical days where the executive team's going to go off site and they're going to figure out their strategy for the coming year. They're going to wrestle with some issues like right after COVID. One of the executive teams I worked with spent a lot of time wrestling with, how do we get people to come back in the office? Do we? What's the value of that? How much do we want to let people work from home? But I would say the part that I'm really passionate about, Meg, is the relationship building piece. Because a lot of executives come and go at different companies, or even just, director level leaders will come and they kind of get there and they're right in the heart of getting work done. And it can be months before they actually kind of get to know their colleagues and build a sense of relationship. So a lot of the work that we're doing is saying, let's take a breather. Let's make sure that we have some fun together, that we laugh together, that we learn about each other's families, we learn about each other's passions. And we also just learn a little bit about what makes each other tick. So what are our work styles? What are our preferred ways of communicating? So a lot of the time we spend either helping them design the 3-day offsite so that it's not just work, but there's some very specific, rich experiential exercises that they might do, or other kinds of great adventures all over the country, but in particular in the greater Denver area, so that they're like, oh my God, that was the best 3-day offsite ever. Right? We got to know each other. I feel so much more connected and I'm really energized and inspired. And my stress is a little less, right? Because I sense that I'm out there alone working like crazy, that I know who the people are that I'm working with. So for me, we spend so much time at work. We may as well feel really good about getting up each day and knowing that we're really valued and that we work with folks who value us.
That's awesome. And do you think that relational aspect is why your clients choose to work with you, or is there more, secret sauce that that comes through in your services?
I love that question. The feedback we get from teams that we work with more often than not is that we found a way for them to talk about the sort of the white elephant in the room, or the thing that everyone is talking about quietly on chat or at the coffee maker, but in a way that they're like, oh, thank heavens, this is so refreshing that we can finally talk about the stuff that's really hard to discuss, but that we all kind of need to. So I think that because we come from the experiential world, and it is not unheard of for Legos to appear in our programs, that people are laughing, they're playing Legos, and then before they know it, they're like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what we dealt with our biggest client last year. And then boom, they're talking about the stuff that everybody really wants and needs to talk about. So, but it's in a way that it doesn't feel stiff and forced. It just sort of comes naturally by nature of the group really having fun interacting with each other. I think that's probably
you don't put time in your day-to-day for those types of, conversations. Like, you're task oriented at work. So your tasks fill up your whole day, and then you don't have time set aside for that. So that, I never really thought through that, but I get it. That makes a lot of sense. So tell us about any hardships or life challenges that, you had to rise above that really helped you with the business and the services you offer.
Oh gosh. Well, I would say that we've had a couple of clients that in a really struggling position, either their industry was changing or something like COVID, or even before COVID, something around them, whether it was finances or competitors, that kind of caused them to have to do a massive reorganization or a massive restructuring. And it's really hard. It's amazing how often organizations, when they've got something like a layoff or a reorganization going on, they spend so much time and energy worrying about the people they're letting go, or they spend so much time and energy worrying about sort of the communication and the message and the caretaking of the people that are kind of getting the short end of the stick. And what we notice, and what's been hard for us and important for us with working with clients, is to say, if you want a good culture after this experience, if you want a place that people can't wait to go to work for, you need to spend as much, if not more, energy on the people you're keeping, right? Or on the people that are going to be more affected and still have to carry forward doing less or doing more with less kind of thing afterwards. And so I would say for us, it's really been about helping people recognize, that diversity matters to their employees. Lower stress matters to their employees. A sense of clarity about where the heck we're going really matters. So I think for us, it's been navigating our own sort of journeys throughout the changes that go on in society, with clients coming and going, and just remembering that people want to know they're valued and want to know that they are cared for, and that there is an opportunity to say, gosh, my family member's sick. Can I take care of this? And really know that they're going to work in a very human-centered place. Yeah, that's part of what makes me passionate about what we do. Plus laughter. Like, we release oxytocin when we laugh. And so I just think such a lot when organizations plan offsites or leadership development programs where it's very serious and very focused on all the things you need to do right as a leader. Guess we all have foibles. We all make mistakes, and it's really important to have an opportunity to just get together with people and laugh about it, and know that we have shared challenges.
Is really important. It's, you got to have, I'm known in my organization for never not laughing. So if I'm on like a conference call or whatever, like there was a presentation I had to do and we kind of ran short on time. I was just the last person. It was just our leadership team. And they were like, Meg, you have 10 minutes. No laughing.
Right. What a great reputation to have, though, Meg. That's way better than Meg. Stop being so serious.
Right? Totally. Yeah. I would fit right in at all of your events. So what is happening with, the business right now? Are there any like seasonal or, we're on our way while we're recording this into 2024. So, what's happening in the business right now that's timely or seasonal that you want to share?
I would love to share. In 2024, we have a partnership with another local company in Littleton called Personify Leadership. And it is a really rich, powerful 2-day leadership development experience. And I'm really passionate about it because it has a mixture of all kinds of things. It has case studies, it has video demonstrations. In fact, they're filming today with the new cast of characters that are demonstrating some of the great storyline of a particular leadership team that we follow in these videos. It's got experiential exercises, so really fun, good, engaging problem-solving exercises, lots of reflection time, and folks have an accountability partner that they work with over 3 to 6 months afterwards to continue their leadership journey. So it's a 2-day experience, but it's an incredibly powerful one. And we found that new leaders all the way up to senior level leaders always find something of value, whether it's how to delegate better, how to listen better, how you communicate differently for people, navigating stress and building resilience, looking at goal setting and what are we up to as a company, and then recognizing the way you set a vision affects the culture, even of your small team within an organization. So I'm especially excited about that. And I personally also do voiceover work. And so a lot of the stories and ideas that we have developing leaders as they're going along are informing a lot of the narration that I do for both e-learning and corporate narration. So in particular, Personify Leadership 2-day program is the thing I'm most excited about going into this year.
Awesome. And then we like to find a little bit out about you, in addition to the business in these interviews. So tell us a little bit about, how you get involved in the community and things that you do for fun when you're not at work.
Great. Well, I'm a mom of 2 daughters. I'm finishing up elementary and middle school. And so we are like a lot of other Coloradans. We love to ski, we love to bike ride, and just participate in lots of the really great cultural stuff that's here. We go to museums. My younger daughter loves the Museum of Science and Nature. And we also, I volunteer time at both of those schools, as well as a number of different organizations. I sing in a choir here locally, and I would sort of, anytime that we can give back, whether it's clothing drives or other kinds of things like that, we volunteer quite a lot for activities and events like that. But I'd say the other fun thing is sometimes I love to get my girls in my recording studio with me when I'm doing e-learning and corporate narration. And every once in a while, they'll just hop in and just find it so fun to listen to themselves recorded. And I'm always encouraging them, go be a public speaker at school, be the one who is volunteering and willing to get on the microphone to make daily announcements at your school. And it's very similar to leaders, right? Find opportunities to shine, find opportunities to step out and have your greatest strengths come forward. So I'm definitely all about encouraging the best and the greatest attributes that we all have to just come forward. That's kind of how I live my life.
Well, I love it. We are kindred spirits for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So how should folks get in touch with you to learn more about the workshops and, all of the things?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Probably the easiest is newangleconsulting.com. We list both the executive offsite facilitation that we do, helping you plan and strategize those meetings, the Personify Leadership 2-day workshops that we host, and many of them we actually customize and will come into organizations locally. And then also pairing with you to actually deliver some experiential activities in some of your own trainings. So all of that is on newangleconsulting.com. That's probably the easiest. And of course, you can find me on LinkedIn, and I love to connect with folks on LinkedIn and Alignable as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your time, and I'm excited to share all of your info with the community.
Thanks for all you do, Meg. Thanks for everyone else who's come on and shared what you do. It's just so great to stay connected and learn what each other does and grow our businesses. Have a great holiday.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpwestdenver.com. That's gnpwestdenver.com or call 720-295-9588.